Good evening and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. My name is Beverly Thompson and I'm here with AJ Royce.
Hello.
And tonight's episode is number 74. And today's date is August the 9th, 2022. It's like, I had to think about the date. It's like, wow. I just thought I would remark before we get, as we get going, about our last episode was called Big Changes, and I had heard the word big change. And so we discussed a lot of that, or all of that in this last episode, and I'm just putting it out there to see what you all have experienced in the last couple of weeks and what you're seeing within you and in the world. So, if you want to share, please do, because I know people are having rapid recall on other lives, and as they remember the other aspects of themselves. And as this is a wake-up call to, I think Royce called it somatizing energies. I had to look that up. So anyway, and then the water sources for consumption, and I have heard more about a lot of sludge. If you recall what you had talked about this last time, a lot of sludge is being put into the lakes. And I heard about one lake in northern Vermont. I believe it's northern Vermont, Lake Champlain. And the algae turns, when it has the fecal matter in it, yeah, I know, gross. The algae will turn like a blue-green color. And the blue-green color may be pretty, but I tell you what, you don't want to swim, and you definitely don't want to, consume any of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that water gets into our drinking system, at least in those areas. But I've been hearing more about other lakes that are having similar situations. So if you do see the blue-green algae, that is a sign of the fecal matter within the water system. So anyway, I'll go on from there. But it's like there's other ways to get rid of it. And I do feel that using our energy and the power of our energy, we can clean those up without putting a lot of chemicals in it, because we are very conscious, powerful beings.
Yes, and also you don't be quiet about something like that. If you should come across something happening, something being dumped in the water, get someone else as a witness, take pictures, and then go to the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be quiet, because this earth is precious.
Definitely.
And so are we.
Exactly. And if some of the authorities don't want to listen, we have a lot of other ways of putting this information out, such as the podcast that we're on. And so it's time to speak up and speak out.
That's right. We've been harping on that for several episodes now.
Yeah. So, and I'm learning that myself, by the way. So we're all in this together. Well, 3 words that I got earlier today when I tuned in to myself with a capital S are strength, courage, fortitude. So everybody has that, and they can use it. So many people think, I don't have that much strength, or I don't have that much courage. If you allow yourself and allow that part of you to come through. So do remember that and use it.
Yes, in a balanced way.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, in a balanced way. You want to expound on that?
Well, sometimes when we're feeling really good about ourselves, things can come across very strongly. And, if someone is in a vulnerable spot at that moment, then, they can end up getting their feelings hurt or whatever. And when you meant nothing ill-willed about it. So, so just, and sometimes it's hard not to get carried away when you're really, keyed up about something and you're excited.
Exactly. And we're just talking about sharing a lot of the information that we receive, and sometimes we'll hold off, because of the person we're talking to, and on some people will not be able to understand what we're saying, what we're talking about, and
that's okay.
And that's okay. And you can, say snippets of information, at least to get the awakening started within them. But you don't have to tell them all, because it gets to be a little bit too much, and it's hard for them to grasp what you're talking about. So, but don't be afraid to speak up.
Yeah, it's amazing. Other people who are experiencing some of the same things that you're experiencing, spiritually awakening, but they haven't said anything to anyone because they don't think anybody else is going through that. But if you open up, then it opens up the window for them too, and you can really learn a lot of neat things about each other.
And they're thrilled.
Yes, they are.
Oh, thank God. Somebody's not going to think I'm crazy, and all of these things that our minds go through because of much of the programming that humanity has gone through. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. Well, all right. I'm going to share some of the things that some of the words that I received in the last week and a half or so, and Royce, same with you, and jump in anytime.
All right, do it.
All right. All right. All right. They said, this is today. I said, yes, the time is near to realize the predicament humanity has and is going through. We state that it's up to you how this unfolds, yet unfold it will. Things are getting shaken out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite obvious, especially things that happened last night, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Okay. Here is some things I'm going to share, and you take it for what it is, because I think it's very important. Inconsequential reasoning will not work in the new paradigm. Think of that. Inconsequential reasoning will not work in the new paradigm. If it really doesn't mean anything, why bring it up? Why do you have to reason it all out when it has nothing to do with your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to be right, and that comes from ego, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's something to look at, because I want to know things, and so I'm a pusher on that sometimes. And I'm like, wait a minute, does it really matter? No. So then I go about my business. All right, to continue. It is of utmost importance for you to understand the significance of what is to come for the navigation into realms you are not yet familiar with, yet are in your reach. Unruly times are ahead as the door is closing on all nefarious manipulations. Stay strong, as your strength will sorely be needed. So, all right, I'm going to continue. Your skies are opening, literally and figuratively. Many operations are ongoing at this now moment. The U.S. corporation, the United States corporation, is now defunct. The republic shall rise as the man takes on a larger role. As the story unfolds, he shall emerge as a great leader, one who allows others' greatness to be expressed. I like that. Yeah, we're in this together, but we're all great. Okay? Even the term leader is a misnomer. Indeed, it is the one you call Mr. T, yet his leadership shall take on another form from the leadership councils you have called your government. New terms shall be introduced. The storm is upon you, making way for the clouds to break open, exposing those who caused deceit. They shall bear themselves, then turn in their badges.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay. So, so that is that. So a little bit more that I want to share is, I'll just get into it. All right, this is yesterday, and yesterday was the peak of the Lion's Gate. And so it's portals that are open on Earth, and it's a lot of connections to Sirius and other star systems, but Sirius is one of the main ones. Do you have more information on that?
No.
Okay. I might as well tell this story. A few years back, I was on the phone with a friend, and I was saying, I'm just not really feeling this Lionsgate thing that everybody's talking about. And he said, well, either am I. I thought, okay. And so I noticed it was probably in July when I was feeling that and expressing it. And then I started, in my meditations, I started going through the lion's mouth. And I went, oh. Realized what was going on. So I was talking to my friend again. I said, I didn't feel any, significance of that for me, even though I have the Syrian connection. And I said, but I keep finding myself going to through the lion's mouth. And he said, same thing with me. So we both laughed because it's like, don't dismiss that. You're very much a part of this, and using that portal also. So anyways, I just thought it was kind of funny because of some things I don't think I'm involved in. And then later on, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, you are. So that may be happening with many of you. That's not necessarily the Lion's Gate, but other situations that may come up.
What would you, how would you describe the Lion's Gate?
It was, boy, going through the mouth, I haven't done that, I don't think, since that year. I think I was to prove that I already do it, but it was my connections to, I think, the Syrian beings. I'm trying to remember what happened back then. It was probably 4 years ago, maybe. I think it's really noticing the connections I have with many other beings, even though I've been doing that for, 30 years or so, but more openly the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. So does that answer your question? I meant somewhat nebulous.
Yes, I was just wondering how you would refer to that.
Okay. How would you refer to it?
Well, I also have a Syrian connection, but the energy of the lion has always resonated within me. So yeah, I feel it more than anything else.
And talk about strength and courage.
Yeah,
that's what I think of the lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people that works with lion energy, remember those around you are not necessarily lion people too, so your words can come over quite strong. I know that I deal with that. I'll be, like I was saying just a minute ago, you're impassioned about something, and so you're just bam, trying to get your words out there, and it comes over a bit, overwhelming. So,
but that's okay too.
Because it's okay.
That's one of the things, pardon me, that a lot of pent up energy is being expressed from the earth, as in earthquakes and volcanoes and other gases, sinkholes. I think there's another sinkhole. I'm not sure where that was, but I saw a picture of it in the last couple of days. And the same thing with us, because stuff is coming up. And, it has been for years, actually, and thinking, are we done yet? Are we done yet? It's like, no, because we're finding things that are even in the physical body that that is actually pent up energy. And it needs to be expressed if you want to get rid of it.
Yes, and I've been... Want me to go into
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Recently, that our friend Deb was up for a visit, and she works with massage therapy. And would you classify her as physical therapy as well, or massage
I
therapy?
think she does a combination of many
Okay.
things.
Okay, she was working on my back. She and you as well were working on my back, and since then I've been experiencing the opportunity to let go of some things. And it's like it came to a head earlier today. Uh, so when you're working with your back, a great deal of the back has to do with your support system. And so those were the issues that were coming up for me. And, going all the way back into elementary school and before. So, it's very helpful to us if we address those things head on when they come up. It takes a lot of guts, but if you're willing to look at it and see it for what it is, put it in its place. That was then, that was the past, and you're in the present. But you have to honor it and then let it go if it's something that no longer serves you. And, sometimes that's a little bit easier said than done, but it can be done. A little bit at a time, it can be done, because we're very powerful beings. We can do anything we set our minds to. So if we're willing to look at it and make a choice as to whether we're going to keep it or not, and then if we're not going to keep it, let it go and keep moving forward and upward. I love the term forward and upward, because the forward part, you're moving toward something new every moment. But the upward part is that we're raising our vibration, and that's what it's all about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we do that, the better it is for not just ourselves and our bodies, because they're not holding on to that baggage that accumulates and begins to cause some big problems if you don't get rid of it.
You carry it your whole life.
That's right. And it turns into disease factors, problems with your organs, and blah, blah, blah. It just takes off running if you don't address it and get rid of it. And I certainly don't want to experience that kind of stuff. So I'm choosing to move forward, to let go of that old paradigm stuff, to let go of the old hurts and old pains and things that a lot of people probably didn't even mean, but it's the way I took it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how a child can have their feelings hurt by things. And, so,
if you don't mind, I would like to go a little bit further on that, not in your life, but just in general, because many of you listening have children or grandchildren, and children need to be heard. They have a lot to express.
Yes.
And not to squash them or belittle them, because they, especially now, these children are very powerful beings that come in quite awake, and you don't want to hinder that process.
Yeah.
And so let them speak.
Yeah, guide them, but don't squash them. When Bev and I were coming along early, the time dictated that children were to be seen and not heard. Those days are over.
Long over.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
So allow your children to speak as a part of the conversation, not taking it over, but guiding them to be a part and to help, chime in and speak their hearts, because you learn a lot from an open heart of a child.
You certainly do. I'm going to mention something that just flew in. What have we been doing to our children because of COVID? Oof. I'm going to say it plainly. Get the darn mask off their face.
Yeah.
that is hurting them in so many different ways, not only bacterial, it's not protecting them from anything. It's the only thing it does is the parent thinks they're doing the right thing for the child when indeed they're not. So it's like, get that darn thing off their mouth and let them express themselves and let them see themselves speaking and communicating with other children.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that, because I do get irritated when I see children with the mask on. It's like, get those darn things off.
Ooh,
Please.
I just saw that lion come through.
Yeah, that goes with adults too, because I do think it's a bunch of BS. But
Yeah.
anyways, if you don't, that's for you to figure out. All right. Okay, we went into the Lion's Gate and to what happened with you today, and really thinking about all the back issues,
Yeah.
that went to a childhood issue that how you thought of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah, and that gets carried forward, and it's like, wait a minute, I need for my life to blossom.
Exactly.
I choose to thrive and not just to survive.
I like that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and I don't care how old you are now.
Yeah.
But a lot of these things get carried for many, many years, and you don't even realize you're carrying it.
Yeah.
But it may pop up.
Gets hidden back in the shadows.
Yeah, in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah.
Sore back. What are you carrying on your shoulders? So, all right. This is yesterday, and this is some things I received, and I'm going to share them with you now. It says, greetings in the light of the infinite one. We are your brothers and sisters from the stars, coming forth to congratulate you on your progress in the light. This message is personal. It can be shared if you like. So I'm sharing it. So think umbrella, think sections, and think protection. So much is trying to befall you, yet you do not falter. Strength is paramount at this time. Move beyond the totalitarianism that is being manipulated on your earth plane. Do not fall for false agendas. They serve you not. Your intuitive nature assists you in rising above the muck. When it comes to the point of total resurrection, do not bend. I asked a little more explanation. It said, in the coming days, your eyes will be open to outbreaks and breakouts. Listen to your eternal self. You know your truth. Speak it. Do not hold back. Speak it. Speak your truth.
And speaking of truth, is there anyone on the line with us who has something to say? Okay. I guess not. Okay.
Or if you want to speak up, please do. We do open the lines when we ask. All right. Further on, they said, pause and reflect on the challenges before you. What are you going to do about it? If you hesitate, why is that? So instead of being the victim, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to remain in that victimhood? And I tell you what, that gets you absolutely nowhere.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's time to clean house individually and collectively. And we're hearing a little static on the phone, so I don't know if that's coming through. So this phone is our microphone here. It said, notice the sequence of events. And we're going into today. Okay, you did get this information. So last night is when the Mar-a-Lago was under siege. And so it gives you the date, those that listen later. So as again, today is the 9th of August. So do you want to, do you remember what you said?
No, I don't.
Okay. From this point forward, so down there. Okay.
Okay, from this point forward, one thing leads to another, to another and to another. It's like dominoes falling. So there's no stopping the movement now.
Yeah, it's happening. And so just notice the sequence of events. Remember to not get caught up in the muck part of it, but observe what is going on. And clean your house. So the more you clean your own house, and that includes your body.
Yeah, your body, your whole life.
Your whole life, yeah. Then the whole collective feels that, because you are very much a part of that collective.
Yes.
And so it's time. It's time to. It's really time to do that. I don't know how else to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get with it, and get on with it.
Yeah, well, this is a reflective universe, meaning that whatever is done in any I don't know how to put that into words, but it's like the most minute action is reflected in either minute or grand action elsewhere in everything. It doesn't just pertain to one thing like physical or anything like that. It's physical, emotional, it's like political, it's like environmental, everything's included in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, talking about environmental, we really haven't talked about that, but from what I've been receiving for a while, there are ways that this planet is definitely going to be cleaned up. I mean, it is happening now, but energetically, it's happening, and it's going to be happening on a larger scale. And a lot of that will, I was told you'll know it. And when this happens, when this huge energy hits us, but that energy is not going to come in, I don't know how else to say it, until humanity is ready for it, and that means their vibratory rate has to be at a certain point for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make? I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, yeah, everyone listening, you're all affecting the whole. So do know your importance of yourself and how you treat yourself, how you treat others, what's important to you, service to, we've heard so many times, service to others, service to self. That do remember, service to others is also serving yourself and loving yourself first, because you're so much more accepting of others when you do that.
Yeah. And I know that for a fact myself. Yeah.
Tell you what, it's called respect.
Yes.
If you don't respect yourself, nobody else is going to respect you.
That's right. That's right. I'll say something that my mom told me. I have said it on the podcast many times before, but I'll say it again. My mom said a doormat is good for one thing and one thing only, and that's to wipe your feet on. If you act like a doormat, don't expect to be, treated like a queen. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Especially now. This new earth is actually here, and it's been here. And earlier I was talking, what I was told about moving into new realms that you're not necessarily familiar with. So things are rapidly changing on this earth, and to me, it's so exciting.
It is exciting. It's a little unnerving at times, but it's exciting overall.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What the heck?
Anything is out of the norm. It's like, what was that?
Yeah. Wow. Well, remember, the United States is changing. We've talked about the monetary system changing. All of it is changing, and to not be afraid of it. You're not going to lose what you already have, from my understanding, unless you do something stupid. But with the new system coming out, going into, I believe it's called the notes, United States notes, versus gold-backed versus fiat money. And so things are happening along those lines. Just hasn't been a big announcement on that yet. I thought it would happen by now, but it hasn't. And so things have to be worked out before that does happen. And the nefarious ones are going down, and there's no way that they're going to make it in this new world.
Yeah, and nefarious ones, according to tradition, go down kicking and screaming, and that's okay.
And that's what's happening now. They're kicking and screaming. And that doesn't mean stand back and wait.
No.
Do not wait. So, it's so important for you and for each of us to do our thing now. And remember about no more victimhood. Understand to realize what is happening in your life. And there are people and counselors that will help you, take you through seeing some of the things that have happened and take you through it until you understand how beautiful you really are.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share?
Just some closing remarks. Do we have anything else to talk about?
Well, those are the main things that are happening. I did see, and I won't go through everything I saw today, but I was seeing the earth as absolutely beautifully surrounded. Well, I guess I will go ahead and say it. With this gold energy, and it was like a sparkling gold, and it was interesting because it was staying close to the earth, and then later it spread out. But I don't know if anybody felt that today, but
I saw it in my meditation. We did the meditation together, and I saw it, and I thought it was strong enough. I thought it was a sunspot, a huge sunspot, but it was the golden light around the earth.
Yeah. And I was asking about some of the pent-up energy and the nefarious ones. That's a term I use, cabal, or whatever words you want to use.
Yeah.
And I was seeing little, it was like they were popping through the gold energy, popping off the earth. I said either they have to leave the earth or they have to be transmuted. But I was seeing them pop right through the gold, and then the gold would separate, like with a hole, then to go right back together. It was really interesting. It was all over the earth. I saw this happening. So, energetically, that's really how the strength and the power that we have. And it's like, this is not going to work here anymore, and we're not going to allow it to work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, be strong. Just be strong in the love that you have for yourself and for everybody else.
They are. All right. Closing remarks.
Okie dokie. I just want you to know that I support you in your effort to look over your life and release those things that no longer are needed to be carried around as harmful baggage. That's the past, and it has completed its circuit. Standing firmly in the present, I love you for having the guts to sort through the muck so that you can discover the hidden gems you came here to uncover. I applaud you for every step forward that you take and for every stride toward raising your frequency that you make for a beautiful, bright future. That future is a new earth, free from the bondage of all that would hold her in stagnation. Times of stagnation are over, so I thank you so much for staying, for doing the hard work, because this takes some stamina and some guts, some courage. So thank you very much, and I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thank you. That was beautiful. Well, peace be with you always, and peace be you.
I like that.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. If you have any questions or want to contact any of us, the phone number is 864-999-3008. And we do post that on our YouTube channel. And so if you have any questions, comments, be it on changes, be on what we talked about today, we welcome what you're all going through. The more we share with one another, the more that we all learn. And it's pretty phenomenal. So thank you again. And we'll be with you in 2 weeks. So that is the 23rd of August for our next episode. So good evening. Remember that you are dearly loved, and please dearly love yourself.
Mm,
All right.
wonderful. Good night.
Good night.